Hello, everyone. I look crazy, but we're about to fix that. We are about to fix that because I need to film. So, a story time for you guys because you guys deserve a story time. It's been long enough. But I was just sitting here getting ready to film. And I was like, you know what, let's go live and talk about it because I want to, number one. I just finished watching the first day of testimony. I don't know if they're going to bring him back up or not next week. But Johnny Depp's testimony, you guys. I did not know that Johnny Depp, he's kind of like a stutterer in a way. Like, I don't know, I just felt so bad for him. Like, listening to his testimony, I was just like, it like breaks my heart. But yeah, I'm thinking I'm gonna do like a full video on Johnny Depp and the whole situation. Just because I want to. There was a couple of you guys who asked for me to cover it, but yeah, I think I'm gonna cover it. I'm just putting all of my primers and stuff on really quick. I like to put them on all together. I really like the mixture of them all. And I like to take a damp beauty sponge. This one right here, who makes this one? Real Techniques, I think. Or Elf, maybe. Maybe this one is Elf. I can't remember. Anyways, I love it. I truly, truly love it. A lot of these makeup companies with their beauty sponges, they're turning them into microfiber. I don't love those. I don't love them. I like an actual sponge type vibe. And I was using that Real Techniques cleansing sponge, but I just started using it in the shower because I really like to take CeraVe in the shower and like clean my face. And I really like it in the shower. Also, my freckles are starting to come out. That's how you can truly know that spring is here, when the freckles start to pop out. By the way, this primer right here, RIP, this is my last container of it. If any of you can find this primer, please, I'm begging you, send me the link, because I had ordered like, I think 6 of them before they took it off the site. Like, Smith & Colt, we need answers. Why did you take away this primer? It is my all-time favorite primer, and this is my last bottle that I have, and she's low. She's low. I literally only use it when I film now because that's how low I am. But I have several weddings in the spring, and I just couldn't imagine not using this primer combo on wedding skin. Like, this is the primer combo. It is. So I use the Nimya Where It All Starts cream. I put a dollop of that, like 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I will put 2 little dots of the Watermelon Niacinamide by Glow Recipe. And then I will either do the Jaclyn facial oil, or I will do the Nimya License to Glow serum, one of the two. I kind of just go with whatever I'm in the mood for. And then I will use the Smith & Colt Untouched Primer. This is the Skin Brightening Foaming Primer. It's so good. I love it. Love it. And that's what we're starting with. I also used my moisturizer as well. It's just the Dr. Brandt moisturizer. And I also put some SPF on, which is the, it's actually a moisturizer and SPF. And it's the Fenty Hydro Visor. I put that on before I went live. And now I'm going to do my brows. And I'm going to use my stencils because I'm just with the shits with it. It just makes it so much easier to use these stencils. Like, I'll show you guys. I made like a TikTok and a YouTube short using the stencils, but why not? Let's do it here as well. So with the kit, you get this. You also get a little brush, but Dolly eat mine. So I'm going to use this Artiste brush, and then you get a shitload of stencils. I'm just going to be using stencil number 1. And then you take your brush or sponge, whatever, and just dip it in the pomade. Make sure you coat it really well. Place your stencil. And start at the tail and work your way forward. That way most of the pigment is back here. And I'm only gonna go about that far up. Like that. And then I'm gonna take the little brush that comes with it and I'm gonna straighten it all out here. Take me a little bit of product on the brush that comes with it. Just like a regular angled brush. I'm gonna start to line this out and elongate my brow a little bit. Which, as you could see, you honestly do not have to do. It just makes it so much quicker, because with the stencil, like, that kills so much time literally just filling all this in. It's done like in a blink of an eye. Like, give it to me. I need it. It makes it so much easier. Yeah, I just thought that I would do a little live get ready with me. I can't even remember the last time that I did one of these with you guys. It's been a minute. And boom, there we go. We're good until it's time to cut the brow with concealer. The only thing I will recommend you do is to be sure that you do wipe off your stencil with like a paper towel or something, because when you go to flip it over and use the other side, if you don't wipe it off, you'll get all of that pigment all over your face and it's just a mess. You just don't want that. Okay. I just love how much time is cut out. Like, pretty much 90% of my brow is filled in, and all I have to do is just go elongate it. Like, please. And honestly, my whole brow would be filled in, but I like the front portion of my brow to be ombre. Dolly's also chewing a bone behind the camera here, so if you hear that, that's what that is. All right, now we are ready to cut these brows, honey. I just love this stuff. Like, shout out to iMethod Beauty for being the plug, because that shit is fire. Also, speaking of which, I'm gonna put a little bit of my lip plumper on too, on top of my lip balm. It's such a pretty gloss too. Love it. Okay, boom. Nars Concealer in the shade Nougat. And my Laura Lee Los Angeles L17 brush. This is my favorite pencil brush. It's just so good. I think it's about time to order some more Nars Concealer, honey. And I really just use the Nars Concealer to cut the brow, like literally. I don't drag it all the way down my lid. I used to do that and I don't anymore. Just because I really like a brighter concealer on my lid. Like that. Boom. Is anyone else watching the new Keeping Up with the Kardashians on Hulu? Because I am. And it's also just exciting to like have to wait that week. Like, it's been so long because all of these streaming services, like, I feel like it's been so long since we've had, well, for me anyways, had that feeling. Like, I feel like a lot of us just wait until the series like comes out. Like, for example, like, you know, Tiger Kings and shit, like when it, by the time it came out and it was popping, like it was already out on, you know, Netflix and shit. And then, you know, Schitt's Creek, that's another one. Like the whole, you know, you didn't have to wait. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just fun to have that, you know. Oh shit, we gotta wait a week before we know, you know, the behind the scenes of Saturday Night Live, which I hadn't watched the Saturday Night Live episode with Kim. So after I watched the new episode, I went and watched her episode of Saturday Night Live. Just so good. And now I'm going to take my Revolution, Makeup Revolution concealer, the Conceal and Define in the shade C1. It's a really, really light shade, but I really like a good light shade on the lid. And I'm actually going to mix this, and I'll show you guys here in just a second what I'm going to mix it with. Oh, that's Chris. No, nobody broke in here. Okay, so I take a little bit of that concealer, and then, and a very thin layer. That's important, to take a very thin layer. And then I'm going to take the P. Louise base, eye base, and this is in the shade Rumor 1. Rumor 1. And I'm gonna take a little bit on my brush. I'm gonna paint that right over top. And we're basically gonna mix those two together, and it just creates the perfect light shade to be the base underneath my eyeshadows. Base is very important. A lot of people don't talk about eye bases, but if you're new to makeup or you're trying to create your makeup kit or you're wanting to, you know, freshen up your makeup kit, an eye base is super important because it's gonna help your shadows pop. So you're gonna get the most pigment out of your eyeshadows with an eye base. And then I'm just gonna take the rest of that that's on my brush and just go right through the inner corner and right underneath the eye, just like that. And it's just gonna brighten this whole area. So when, you know, someone looks at your face, they're looking directly at your eyes. Also, I meant to tell Chris to pick up my Lumify. They're like eye drops, but they really are just to whiten the whites around your eyes. And I really, really like it because my eyes get so irritated from makeup that I've noticed in a lot of my videos, like they're just so red. So I started using Lumify about 2 months ago. And this brand had sent me a goodie box, and in the goodie box was a thing of Lumify. And I cannot recommend it enough. It's so good. The thing is, like Lumify, if by some miracle you come across this live, can you please come out with a larger bottle? Like that little bitty bottle, like for somebody who creates content weekly, and every bit of content that I create, I use Lumify. Can you please make a larger container? Like that does not last no time. Like literally none. Please, 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 please. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this little MSQ brush. I've told you guys about these brushes before. These are thebomb.com. You can get them on Amazon and they're everything. They are dupes of Morphe brushes and they're so affordable. So MSQ on Amazon. They are so good, good and fluffy. They don't soak up product. They blend stuff so well. I love them. And we're just going to tap all of this concealer on the lid. And I'm also going to use my beauty blender as well, just to make sure that everything is blended thoroughly. Dolly Lynn! She's trying to bust the door down because Chris went in the TV room and he shut the door behind her. And she's pissed. She's like, excuse me. Excuse me, sir. Okay, and then just blend this concealer that's above my brow. Okay, and now I'm gonna take my beauty blender. I would use my small beauty blender, but I forgot to wet it, and it's important that your sponge is wet because you actually do want to blend it out and make sure it's all blended into the skin and it's not, like if you can see it wet or you can see it kind of risen off of the lid, it is not blended out. Warning, blend that shit because it is going to ruin your eyeshadow. One time I was doing this girl's makeup for a wedding and she had hired like 3 different makeup artists, and she had this one makeup artist and I could just tell that she wasn't an actual makeup artist. Like she brought her shit in literal like Walmart bags. She didn't have like a kit, which is like a red flag for a makeup artist. She only had like one foundation, like one concealer. It was just very weird. Like typically makeup artists, you know, we have your foundation shade in several different foundations, you know, or one, whatever. I typically mix foundations, concealer, so you'll have like several different options and like a ton of eyeshadow palettes and stuff. Like she didn't have any of that. She didn't have like any disposable like spoolies to do like mascara and shit. She didn't have disposable lip brushes. Like it was just very, very, very clear that she wasn't an actual makeup artist. And she did not blend out the concealer that she put under the, she was like watching us and then doing the makeup, if that makes sense, which is fine, whatever. And she's seen us putting a base on the lid and she didn't blend it out and put eyeshadow right on top of it. And I just remember thinking, damn, like, you think even if you're not a makeup artist, you would know not to mix a powder and a cream. That just seems logical. Anywho, I don't think I'm going to color correct either today because my high pigmentation is not that bad. So I don't think I'm going to color correct. I think we're going to jump right on in, dive on in into eyeshadow. What do I want to do today? You know what I want to do? There's an eyeshadow palette that I haven't played it in a minute. And I love it. And it's this Makeup Revolution Forever Flawless palette. I think you can still get it. It is one of my favorites. I love it. I ain't gonna play in it. And I'm gonna take, let's see, which one do I want to take? I'm going to take Sundown, which is this shade right here. It's like this orangey undertone. I'm going to take this shade on an L18 brush. And I'm just going to start to put that in the crease and blend it up. Just like that. I'm going to start to blend. I'm not going to add any more product. I'm just going to use what's on the brush and I'm just going to blend that up towards the lid. Just like that. Just kind of like smoke it out. Just get the shape that I want and then take whatever product is left and just start to blend that up. Okay. Now let's take now I'm going to go into the shade Splendid, which is this shade right over here. I'm going to take that guy and I'm just going to start to define the crease a little bit more with an L57. This is by Lavish Beauty. And it's going to lightly define that crease without being too dark. You kind of want to take it one step at a time without getting too much. We're eventually going to go into the shade Fortuity, which is one of my all-time favorite matte brown shades of all time. It is like the perfect brown shade. I swear, this is one of my all-time favorite eyeshadow palettes. I've probably used this palette, well, not the most but this is one of the only palettes that I've ever double purchased. This palette and Jaclyn Hill Volume 2 palette I've double purchased, and the Laura Lee Lit Kit. Those are the only palettes that I've ever repurchased, ever. That's when you know you're really like an eyeshadow palette, when you're double purchasing it. Yep. Okay, so now I'm just going to repeat this over here. Again, just gradually deepening up that crease a little at a time, a little at a time. Anyways, I was watching Johnny Depp's testimony, and I haven't finished it yet, but it's just like him talking about his kids, like being at school, and like kids come up to them, like their friends coming up, like holding the magazine, like where she's claiming, like where Amber had that damn bruise and shit, and it's like, oh my God, those poor kids, like, so pitiful. All right, so now that we have started to smoke out the eye, I now want to deepen that outer corner. And where's the brush that I am looking for? I literally just had it. What in the world? Well, I guess I'll just use this one because I cannot find the one I was looking for. Okay, and now I'm going to take the shade Fortuity, which is, like I said, my all-time favorite matte brown shade. As you can see, this is my second purchase of this palette, and Fortuity is almost gone again. That's always the reason that I purchase a new one, is because Fortuity goes out. But we're just going to start to deepen this up. And then I'm just going to kind of go back and forth with the last two brushes and just kind of blend this out. And this is kind of the vibe that we're going for. Hold on and let me let Dolly in the room with Chris. Dolly Lou, you want in here with Papa? She's out here whining, lovey. Come on, George, you want to turn? Come on. Huh? Come on, Dolly. I'm live. I don't have time for this. Oh, goodness gracious. Great balls of fire. My dogs are literally my children, you know? Is anybody else in the same boat with me? I just love this eyeshadow palette so much. It just gives. Okay. Now we're going to take that shade Fortuity again, and we're just going to start on this other side. But what I like to do is start from the outer corner, work your way in. Never, ever, ever, if you want like a seamless, like airbrushed looking smoky eye, never start on the inner corner. Never, because all of that initial pigment is going to be packed there. You want it to be on the outside. That way it has that airbrushed look. And we're going to work our way to the inner corner. And then again, I'm just going to take those last two brushes. I'm not adding any more pigment to them. I'm just using what's already on the brush. And we're just going to start to blend all of this out so that it's seamless and it has that seamless look. Okay, now at this point you could do many things, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut the crease because there's only one shade that goes with this look, this eyeshadow look. I do it every time. You literally do not have to go any further than this palette right here. This palette, you can create so many looks out of it, but this is my favorite by far. I'm just gonna take another one of my L17 brushes. I have like 6 of these. If you haven't gotten the Laura Lee Los Angeles brush set yet, you need to. And I'm gonna cut the crease. There's side number 1. Has anybody else watched Johnny Depp's testimony? And if so, what are your thoughts? Seems like just about everybody has the same opinion in the situation. Okay. Now, by the way, I always use the Nars Concealer to cut my lid. It's just like clean. It doesn't move around. It's like the perfect consistency. It's not too thick, so it's not so hard to move around like Kevin Kline concealer, but it's not too creamy, so it's not going to get too messy and like go everywhere either. So it's like the perfect one. Okay, let's see. I need a little flat brush, but you know what? I used yellow on this brush the last time I used it, which is not what we want. Let's use this one. Okay, and we are going to take the shade Pearls, which you can see is very much loved in this palette as well. And we're just going to start to pack that on the lid. You could also spray your brush if you want. It's just going to intensify whatever shade you use, but this shade Pearls is so gorge. I love it so much with this eyeshadow look. It's perfection. And I'm not going to really worry with the outside edge because I'm going to do something there. So pretty. I'm also going to really carry that shade Pearls into the inner corner too. Just like down in that tear duct. Okay. And then I'm gonna take that brush that I used to put Fortuity, which was that deepest brown shade, and we're just going to start to clean up this outer edge. And what I like to do is take the shade and tap right on the edge of your lid color and then just start to blend it. And it will start to create like this effect, just like it's been painted on your eye, like it's a work of art. It just creates this beautiful airbrushed effect. It's so pretty. These shades just blend so good, and Makeup Revolution is so affordable. This is not sponsored. I wish. I would love to be sponsored and be sent this palette for the rest of my life, but it's not. This is just my true feelings of it. And then I'm just going to take that brush. I'm not adding any extra of the shade Pearls. I'm just tapping over the edge again so it looks seamless. And then we're going to take the second brush that we used to blend the shade Splendid, and I'm just going to hit those edges. I'm not adding any extra color or anything. I'm just hitting the edges again so it's seamless. Now we're going to do the same thing over on this side. So this is what it looks like before, and this is what it should look like after. So you should have that beautiful blend going on. And again, just tap that shade right on the edge. And then just start to blend, and it will kind of do what it needs to on its own, really. Just use light circular motions. And then just take the brush that you put pearls on and just brush that out, and that will create that just seamless wash of color. So pretty. Ooh, wrong brush. That would have been bad. Okay, now moving on to the fun part. Now you could totally skip this if you wanted to. I'm not gonna because I'm in the mood. So let's see, which one do I want to use? I think I am gonna go with the white. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the white. I'm just gonna start making the dots with the glue. And I'm just using Lash glue. And then just put our little glitter. All right, let me go get my girl, you guys. She's throwing a fit. Oh, my goodness. Guys, trying to do a lot up here. All right, I think I want just a little something, something. So, let's see. I don't know. Let's take a little bit of these pink ones, maybe. Just to throw a little bit of something. I wish I had some bigger gold flakes, but I don't. My gold ones are small, so I'm just gonna go with these. I need to get some larger gold flakes, but I'm just gonna put a couple in here just to give a little bit of a glow so you can kind of see what's happening. There we go. These have just a little bit more of that green effect so you can actually see the reflection of them. Cute. All right, now let's do the other side. Dolly. No, ma'am. There we go. All right, now let's fill it in with some pink. And I just get these off Amazon. People are all the time asking me on TikTok where I get these. I just order, just look up glitter on Amazon. Here we go. Boom. Cute. All right. Foundation. I'm going to go in with Hourglass first. Which I need to get another one of these. This one is almost gone because I use this foundation every day. I always mix foundation, but I use this one every single day. It's the Hourglass Vanish Stick. And then I mix. I'm going to take a little bit of MAC Studio Fix Fluid foundation in the shade C 3.5. It's like a little dollop of that. And where's my other one at? Here she is. And then I'm going to take the Dermablend Flawless Creator Multi-Use Pigment Drops in the shade 35W. My little pump doesn't work, so it never works. Every time I've gotten this foundation, the pump never works. And you literally need just like the teeniest amount of the Dermablend, and then all of these mixed together is what I use for foundation. And you want to talk about full coverage? If you are like me and you like a full coverage moment, honey, look no further. This is the end all be all combo for sure. And nobody talks about these Dermablend, the Dermablend foundation, nobody. And I'm like, why? Why is this foundation not hyped? Because it is so good. I don't really put much foundation on my forehead. I don't like the feeling of foundation on my forehead, so I don't. Really put a bunch, just like tap whatever's left kind of thing. And then I never spray tan my neck, so I always drag my makeup over my ears and down my neck, because again, I don't like the feeling of spray tan on my neck. Okay, and this is where we're at now. I'm gonna go ahead and do my contour. I'm gonna take RIP to Becca Cosmetics, but this is my all-time favorite contour. It's actually a concealer, and I've used it as contour for ages. I like the Chanel one as well, but I did a wedding in November of last year, and I have not been able to find that concealer or that bronzer since. Like at all. So wherever you are out there, Chanel bronzer, I miss you. So I've just been using this ever since, and I forgot how much I loved it, and you can't even get it anymore, so that's cute. But it's the, if you can find it, it's probably going to be on like eBay or something, but it's the Becca Aqua Luminous Perfecting Concealer in the shade Dark Golden. I would just definitely be careful buying makeup products off eBay, because that is most definitely a dangerous territory, and I do not recommend. Also, somebody asked me on Twitter what my thoughts were of purchasing like bootleg makeup, because I guess like on Alibaba and shit, and there's another one somebody else mentioned, I think it was called like DH Gate or something. They were saying that they had ordered makeup, like big brand makeup, and gotten it, and it was like just as good or better than the real deal. That shit has like chemicals in it. That's gonna be a hard pass for me. A hard pass. And then I'm gonna take my L12 brush. This is also by Lorelei Los Angeles. It's my favorite to blend out my contour. And we're just gonna start to blend that out. I do all of my contour blended out with this brush except for my nose contour. My nose contour, I use the Charlotte Tilbury brush. And then take my nose contour brush. And now, just leave the nose contour alone. It looks crazy, but you gotta trust the process. And now, we're gonna do another mixture. I'm gonna take the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer in the shade NC20. I'm gonna do one little squirt of that. Then I'm gonna take It Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye in the shade 11.0. And we're gonna do a little bitty dot of that mixed in with the MAC. And then we're gonna take this Luxie 510 brush. We're going to mix that together and we're gonna start to tap that mixture. Okay, so that is just to conceal, okay? And then I'm gonna take, where is it? The key is to find the lightest feeling makeup. That's the key. That is the key. And then I'm gonna take the Jaclyn Cosmetics Concealer in the shade Fair Peach. And this is bright, honey. Her concealer is brightening. I'm gonna take it right on the inner corner of my eye, right here, just a little bit. Do the same thing over here. Right in the middle of my nose and on the tip of my nose. Right above the Cupid's bow. And right there. Okay. Now, we are going to blend it out with the Beauty Blender. All right. Then I'm going to take my contour brush and I'm just going to blend around some of these areas and just make it nice and seamless. And then we're gonna drench our face. Sop it wet. And let it dry. But you want to sop it wet. This is the key to the base. You guys really wanted the tea on this, so here it is. You want it, don't complain about how you get it, okay? Dolly ate my Nimya fan, so we're having to use the Patrick Ta one, which is fine because I spent $30 fucking on this. I still to this day can't even grasp what made me hit add to cart and then what made me hit pay now. Like, something possessed my body, I'm not sure. All right, and then once you're like 90% dry, take your beauty sponge and then just tap all over the skin just to really press all of that in. And then you're gonna take your setting powder. My favorite is the Dragon Beauty translucent setting powder in the shade Pink. I break the top off so you can actually get in there. Dip your sponge, tap it on your wrist, and then just press into the skin. And that is going to create just that seamless, beautiful skin. That is how you get the base. And I'm going to put this pink one in like my brightening areas. So all the areas where I want my skin to be, you know, good and bright. And then I'm gonna take Airspun powder, Coty Airspun powder, but my Coty Airspun powder is mixed. So I mix part Airspun powder, the translucent, or not translucent, sorry, the naturally neutral shade of the Airspun. And I mix that with the Jaclyn Cosmetics. I can't grab it, it's in the back, but it's the Jaclyn Cosmetics like Skin Glow powder. The peachy pink one. I mix those together. And we're gonna do the same thing. Except here, we're setting the rest of our face. And it just adds this really pretty glow to your skin. And you can thank me later on the combo because you will love it. I'm promising you. Also, if you're someone like my sister, she hates the weight of setting powder, like the way that it makes your face feel heavy. If you do the setting spray thing before you put your powder on and you tap off excess, that will make your face feel a lot less heavy. The key, like I said, the key is to get the lightest, find the lightest makeup that you can. And that's what I'm showing you here today, people. If you want a full beat moment for an Instagram photo or a video or for family photos or whatever, follow this routine and I promise you, you will be comfortable. You will not be uncomfortable, I promise. Okay, now, lower lash line. For this look, you could go a couple of different ways. Hold on, there's something here I don't like. Okay. For this look, you could go a couple of different ways. You could leave the lower lash line completely blank and just put on some, you know, mascara down there. Or you could smoke it out and follow the color patterns that you did up top. Or another option would be to do the reverse cat eye or the fox eye, if you will. You could do that as well. Since I did glitter, I'm gonna opt out of that. And we're just gonna have a little bit of fun with the lower lash line, because sometimes when I do neutral colors like this and I have the little pops of glitter, I like to do a pop of color on my lower lash line. And that's what I've decided I'm gonna do. And I'm thinking, since the glitter has like the green reflectives, I'm thinking that I'm gonna do a little something with green. And in the Norvina, I think this is the third one, palette, there is a shade in here. It's E1. It is this shade right here. It's like this really pretty pop of green. It's just so pretty. And I think that that is the vibe that I'm trailing after. I'm just vibing with her. So I'm just gonna take a pencil brush that has a good fluff to it. This one here is the Morphe, don't know, the numbers are off of it. And I'm just gonna take it on the tip of that pencil. I'm gonna tap off excess. You could also use a green liner first if you wanted to. I'm not digging that out, so I'm just gonna go straight in, so. Also, depending on your eye color, whatever color that you put on your lower lash line when you do like a pop, like I'm doing, can really help your eyes pop. And green is the color for brown eyes. So the main thing you want to do is to really tap that color, the pigment, like in the main area where you want it. And then I'm just going to tap off all of the excess color. So I'm going to take like 95% of that color off of the brush. And then whatever's left on here, I'm just going to start to blend that out. This is where I would say 90% of people with lower lash lines mess up, is they don't blend it out. And it literally makes me want to grab my brush, my makeup brush, out of my purse and fix it, because I cannot stand a unblended lower lash line. It is literally the worst in the world. So that's the vibe that we're gonna start with here. If you have blue eyes, take an orange or a red for the lower lash line for this. It would, or green eyes as well. That would also work. You can thank me later. It will just make your eyes pop to the moon. Okay. Now I'm just going to wipe off the excess off of my brush again, like that. And I'm just gonna start to blend, blend, blend. Just be very easy blending with your lower lash line. It can be pretty sensitive. Another thing we could do, ooh, this is fun. Where is the brush that I am looking for? Ah, here it is. Okay, what you can do, just to amp it up a little bit, I just gotta make sure I get all the blue, because the last time I did this, I did it with blue. Take you a angled brush, spray it, lick it. I'm gonna lick it, because that's what I normally do. It's my brush. These are my personal brushes. I don't use these on nobody. And then I'm going to take that shade E1 on this liner brush. Make sure that you wipe the sides off so it's nice and straight. And just press that right up against your lash line. Just like that. And that's just going, you see how much more that just popped? My eyes just started to pop. Anytime you press whatever color it is that you're blending on your lower lash line, anytime you press it on the lower lash line and it's damp, it will just enhance that color so much more without you having to add, you know, a load more product underneath your eye. So I'm gonna do the same thing to the other eye. And then again, just make sure that you press the side so your brush is nice and flat. And then just start to press that right on the lower lash line. Just like that. And then just to tie in the whole look, I'm then gonna go back into the Makeup Revolution palette that we used, and I'm gonna take that very first shade, Sundown, right here. I'm gonna take just a little bit of her and blend right at the edges. Just to tie everything in together. I should have done this look yesterday. This is giving very Earth Day. It's giving Earth. Okay, boom. And there is the eyeshadow look, you guys. I'm digging it. I like it. It's pretty. Pretty. All right. Contour time. I have been using this for like the past 4 months. I'm obsessed with it. It's the Charlotte Tilbury bronzer. I have the shade medium. And I'm going to use, wait, is that the brush that literally fell a minute ago? It is. The Morphe M143, you guys already know. I'm going to use this and just contour. And I don't use this as a bronzer. I just use this to really go over the contoured areas where I use that Becca contour. That's really all I do with this. On the neckline here. And then take our little nose contour brush. And just go over it. And then just right here. Okay. Now I'm going to warm up the face, and I'm going to use the Juvia's Place bronzer. And this is the tan one. I'm going to mix these two together. And I am going to use a Luxie 411 brush, I think. Just like a nice contour brush. And I'm just going to use that lighter shade. And just really start to warm up this face, you know, bring some life back to the party. This lighting is like really quite terrible, but you know, whatever. Okay. We are bronzed. Just want to take a little bit under the eyes and over the nose and just kind of blend a little bit. Okay, now for blush. Yeah, I think I want to go with my regular. My allergies are so bad, you guys. My nose will not stop running. This is my favorite blush. I've talked about this a trillion times. I will talk about it a trillion more. I love it. It is the CoverGirl True Blend So Flushed High Pigment Blush. And this is in the shade Hot Frenzy. You guys, this is so goddamn beautiful. And it's you can see, I use this every day and you can still see every bit of the detail in it because it's so goddamn pigmented. Like, you literally have to be like, like for real. Do you see how pigmented that is? And I went, like for real. If you were to dig into this shit, you would be looking like crazy. But just the right amount is so beautiful. I love it so much. It's like my favorite. Okay. Then we're going to take, now this I have never shared because I'm so scared that like somebody big's going to see my video and they're going to share it and then you're never going to be able to find it again. That's how much I've used this. I've probably bought, no shit, 30 of these in my life. Like, no lie, that's how much I love this blush. This is the best blush topper in the world. It's so beautiful. I have never, ever, ever done a look on anyone without using this. This is ColourPop's. I hate sharing it, but I'm going to put you guys on. ColourPop's Super Shock Cheek in the shade Drop of a Hat. As you can see, this one has already hit pan. I use it every single day. Just take your brush, run it through. Do you see that glow? It's just everything and more. It's everything I need in a blush and more. I love it. It's so beautiful. And when I tell you that this is like the most beautiful blush to be photographed, it just looks so goddamn beautiful on camera. Just chef kisses. Okay. Now we're going to take our setting spray. This is my favorite. It's the Dragon Beauty Forever Fantasy. And we're going to spray our face. And then I'm going to take my beauty blender and I'm just going to press everything into the skin. And this is just going to like mesh everything in and like also make your face feel 1,000 times less heavy. So this is where we are. I have been using this highlight a lot. This is the Michaela Highlight. I really, really like this one. Especially like on my skin tone. I really, really dig it. I bought this and I had high hopes for it. This is the Jason Wu highlight. I bought this like 3-4 months ago and it's sitting here forever and I finally used it. It's just too chunky. I don't love it. I don't love it. So I know what I'm going to use on my inner corner, but I think today I'm going for like a goldy vibe. I think I'm going to go in with this Smashbox Halo highlight. I think that that's the vibe. I think that's what we need to use. And as always, I'm going to use my It Cosmetics highlight brush because it just makes highlight look so beautiful on the skin. It just picks up like that perfect amount and just distributes it like perfectly. So pretty. Okay. So pretty. You know, I'm thinking I might take, no. Here it is. Summer Haze by Artist Couture. It's the loose highlight. I'm thinking I might add a little bit of it to the tip of my nose and my Cupid's bow. how pretty. Oh. So pretty. I love this stuff, but it's like lethal. Like you can literally only use so much and it will just shock you to bits, honey. It's like so pigmented. Okay, for the inner corner, this is my favorite. Sorry, it is. It just is. This is the Wet n Wild Hello Halo Blush Lighter in the shade Highlight Bling. And when you talk about pigment, bitch, this right here, you can see how much I've used it, is pigment. Is pigment, okay? You need literally hardly none. Since we're going next to the eyes, I'm just going to take a little bit of setting spray on my brush. You could also spray it directly onto the setting or to the highlight if you wanted. And then we're just going to take a little bit of that on the tip of the brush. And I'm just doing a little bit because, like I said, if you go in with this shit, like, honey, you'll regret it. I'm just saying. Just a little bit is all we need. We do not need to go crazy today. Just like a little bit. And then just whatever's left on the brush, just right up by the brow bone. Okay. So pretty. But you got to be careful with that. You got to be careful with her because she can be a lot. All right. Now I'm going to take my little brush I used on my lower lash line and just kind of blend those two together. And then I'm going to take this little brush, make sure I ain't got no, just hit right up here so it all blends evenly. I'm still debating if I want to do eyeliner. I normally don't when I do glitter, but I don't know. Let's go ahead and do our brow gel while I debate on whether or not I want to do liner. I think I'm not going to do liner. I think I'm not. I'm picturing this look in my mind with liner, and it's not giving. Boom. By the way, I use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wax. It's my favorite. Okay, let's go ahead and curl these lashes. Also, I need to get some nail glue because I have these really cute, like pastel purple nails, and I can't do a YouTube video without nails because literally every fucking comment will be like, why don't you have your nails done? Why don't you have your nails done? Like, oh my God. Are your nails done? Lancome Grandiose Mascara, duh. It is the only mascara that exists. In my opinion anyways, it is the best mascara. It is worth the extra $10 for the Lancome mascara, okay? It's been on sale forever. It's been on sale for $17. But one tube of this mascara lasts me literally 6 months. I only have to buy mascara like twice a year, so. Mascara really does, like, matter. I think that's just one thing in makeup. Like, if you were to do, like, a full face of makeup, like, yeah, it might be pretty, but, like, if you don't have mascara on, I feel like it could just ruin it. All right. While our lashes dry, lip liner. Now, this lip liner, y'all, I have used it every single day since I got it. I did this challenge with you guys like a couple of months ago, and it was a full face of makeup for under $30, and I got it all from the Family Dollar. And in that, I found this LA Colors lip liner, and y'all, it's just my favorite. I love it. I've used it and used it and used it and had to go buy another one. It's that good. So if you can find it, it's like a double-ended one, and it's in the shade Naked. If you can find this, like, grab every single one they have. It's like 70 cents. It's so fucking good. I use the thick side, okay? And it's just so good. Which this last one I bought was fucking broken. I'm so pissed. And it like weeble wobbles around. But I don't care. We do not care. I'm still using it. So pretty. It's like, I love it so much. Okay. Now for the lippy. I'm going to do my favorite combo. This is my all-time favorite liquid lip and shade. It's Too Faced Melted Liquid Lipstick in the shade Sellout. It's my favorite. It's got like a pinky tone to it. Such a pretty color. Love it so much. Then I'm going to take the Kat Von D. This is, what are these called? Lip creams. And the shade Blossom. So pretty. I think we're gonna go with no liner, but I do think what I'm gonna do is cut a lash in half. This is what I do 99.999% of the time. I'm gonna take Ardell 252s. These are my favorite to do this with. And, oh, I'm gonna have to go get scissors, but what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cut it in half and glue half on one side, half on the other. Do I seriously not have any? Ha. Boom. Okay. So this will go on this side. You see, like when you bend these, like each side will kind of flare out. Love it. And this will be the other side. Just makes the outside edge just a little bit thicker. I really like it. It's pretty. Boom. There we go. All right, guys, that is the finished look. I'm going to get off here and eat me some lunch and do a little something with my hair, put on a cute outfit and film before I go to work. I hope you have a great rest of your Saturday. And until the next time, bye.